My name is Dr. Simcha. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about ADD or ADHD and children. ADD stands for Attention Deficit Disorder. The last D is what I have a problem with. We have a system that identifies problems in children. Once these problems are identified, we treat them after we've separated them. If we include them, it creates a problem for the system because then at that point the system has to take some sort of onus for the problems. It's very easy to separate them and segregate them because once we do, we create a subsystem which we provide for very nicely, and I give great commendation to the schools who do. However, attention deficit disorder is kind of like in the middle because it's not a disability of learning. What it is it's identified by behavior. Actually, it's so overly identified that there's a population of approximately 9 to 10% of the children in the United States that have been given this terminology. 9 to 10%. That's more than the population of Asian Americans. Now, if we are talking about a population of 9 to 10%, is that a disorder? Or maybe we're talking about a difference. That was the impetus behind the brain scans and the brain technology that we've recently done, which has told us that the brains of ADD or ADHD children and adults are actually different. They're structured differently, the blood flow is different, there are actual areas of the brain that look different on scans than other brains. So what does that mean? That means that lefties, who were once called disordered, are no different than people with ADD. So we've accepted lefties as part of society, and we've determined that they can live without being called disordered, and they may be difficult at times. They have to sit in certain parts of the table, they write a little differently, their handwriting is often sloppy, but we tolerate them. But children with ADD or ADHD, or adults with ADD or ADHD, their behaviors are called disordered. That is my opinion as to why these children grow up with the emotional difficulties that they do. If you were told as a child that everything that you're doing is wrong, everything that you're doing is disordered or disruptive, and if the society and the system had no tolerance for your needs, then you would also grow up with negativity, anxiety, depression, over drug use, and all of the subsidiary symptoms that we find in children with ADD who are untreated growing up. So we have a great answer: medication. Medication takes care of these symptoms. And what we do is we take their difference and we squish it and conform it into a place that the world can tolerate. Now, I'm not telling you that medication is not an answer or modification is not an answer, but I'm telling you the premise of the fact that these children are disordered and they need to be treated as such is a terrible message to give to children. It creates a future that is almost definitely going to produce failure, success, and depression.